I might meet. Well, I'm always frightened of what I might meet. Yes, I'm always frightened of what I might meet. I'm always frightened of what I might meet.
Very popular, this particular one. Most people I think know what a rack is. The victim would be stretched completely.
Pijnbank is dit eigenlijk.
This was never illegal in England. It was never legal, but everyone knows that it did happen. But it was never a legal form of punishment.
Het is nooit legaal geweest, maar iedereen wist dat het gebeurde.
And they would just simply be stretched on a rack, their arms and legs, with their whole stomach completely stretched after a while, and eventually they would just burst too much.
Could people survive this form of punishment?
Yeah, you could. It you could be killed, but you could survive depending on why you were being tortured. It was a good way of getting people to actually confess
It was mostly used for confessions.
That's right, if they wanted to get something out of someone, but they didn't necessarily want them dead, but they wanted to get some information out, they would use that form of torture.
Ja, dus vooral als ze bekentenissen wilden hebben van mensen, dan gingen ze op de pijnbank op het rek en dan werden ze uitgerekt. En ja, ze hoefden dan niet per se dood, maar je kon er wel erg gaan overlijden.
This again here was used at Newgate Prison.
Dat is al in Newgate, in de Newgate gevangenis.
And what would happen would be that a man would be led down, a door or something, a very heavy board would be put on top of him.
Dus een man wordt op de grond vastgebonden.
And then,
dan wordt er een zware deur of zoiets bovenop hem gelegd. Yes.
And then very heavy stones would be placed on the door, and eventually it would just crush him to death.
Ja, en dan op een gegeven moment en dan worden er weer stenen op die deur gelegd. Ja, en als je er dan genoeg op legt, dan wordt hij vanzelf verbrijzeld totdat hij doodgaat.
Sometimes if you've got a nice torturer, he would allow your relatives to come and stand on the board to give you a quicker death, so that your death wouldn't be drawn out, it would be very quick, and the relatives would come and stamp on the board and sit on it.
Als je dus een aardige beul had, nou ja, welke beul is aardig, maar een wat vriendelijke beul, dan liet hij soms toe dat de familie daar kwam om ook bovenop die plank te gaan staan, zodat de dood sneller intrad. En dan zag je dus tafereeltjes dat de hele familie stond te trappelen en te springen op zo'n deur.
Began to rise. Suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash from the hall of gore in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. Zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. crypt kicker 5.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard
It
smash.
was a smash.
It caught on in a
The
flash.
monster mash.
They did the monster mash. Come in, Boris. We always have a guest for breakfast. Come in, Horace. We always have a breast for breakfast. Igor, have you watered the brains today, Igor?
This is a scene now of hanging here. You could be hung in England for over 300 crimes, from stealing a loaf of bread because you had to feed your family. Very, very small. It didn't need to be a murder or anything drastic.
Very small offences.
Very small offences indeed. They would hang you.
Nou, in Engeland kon je dus voor over de 300 vergrijpen, ook hele kleine vergrijpen, opgehangen worden. Vergrijpen als stelen van het brood. En nou, dat is toch niet zo belangrijk. En so they were. This is a 3-person gallows.
That's a gallows. That's
Yes.
right. It is.
You could do 3 hangings at a time.
That's right.
Het is een 3-persoonsgallig, je kon er 3 tegelijk doen. What was the procedure? Because they weren't drawn up or...
They were drawn up in the same way as we would know. They would just be pulled up and just hung by the neck until they were dead.
Very slow way.
Very slow. Yeah.
Het is dus niet zo dat ze op een karretje stonden en de paarden weggingen of zo, maar ze werden echt langzaam naar boven getrokken totdat ze dood waren.
If a gentleman could get a woman to marry him on the day that he was due to be hung, he could be pardoned. So there was a lot of marrying at the gallows because people didn't want to die, and if they could find someone who would marry them, they would be pardoned.
Wat wel gebeurde is dat er was een soort gebruik dat als je op de dag van je ophanging iemand kon vinden die met je wilde trouwen, dan kreeg je, nou dan was je vrij. Dus er waren nogal wat trouwerijen onder de galg. But everybody, I can imagine everybody wanted this chance.
Everybody wanted the chance, but not everybody wanted to marry a criminal either. So mostly they were hung, I would say.
So this was the first little trip through the London dungeon. Lovely scenes. The guide looks good too, doesn't she? Of course you want to hear more. So tune in next week for more deadly fun.
En voor het geval er nog overlevenden zijn. De muziek die je er tussendoor hoorde, die was van de Bonzo Dog Band. Van Screamin' Lord Such. En dit is van Nina Hagen. In dezelfde sfeer. Auf dem Friedhof. Volgende week meer horror. Dan zoeken we die aan, maar vast wat aangepaste bezigheden. Nina Hagen.
Ivan.